aplusstudents.com. You need to go to the website and you need to log in. Then you need to select math as your subject. This is a grade 7 lesson, okay? And the topic is data and graph. Okay, I'll give you the chapter number and the lesson number. The chapter number is 23, and the lesson number is 2. So let's write the name of the lesson. The name of the lesson is Interpret. We are trying to interpret the line plots. We will look at the graph of line plots and we will try to find what exactly the information is given in a graph. Okay, so let's go to math grade 7. Okay, just a moment please. Grade 7 maths, chapter number 23, data and graphs, and lesson number 2, interpret line plots. Okay, so let's have a look what a line plot exactly is. Okay, then we'll try to find the question and the information they're asking us. So this diagram over here represents a line plot. Okay, a line plot means there is a line given. On the line there is some information and there are some markings. Okay, so by considering the markings we need to find this value. Okay, I'll just read this question. Question number 1. The members of a science club shared how many times they had been to the zoo last year. So 0 trips, there were no students, right? Number of trips 0, none. 1 trip was done by how many people? 1, 2, and 3. Agreed. 2 trips were done by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Right? 6 students. 3 trips were done by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Okay. And 4 trips were done by 1, 2, 3. We're just counting the X. 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. And 5 trips were done by only 4. Okay. 4. So the question says that how many members are there in all together? Okay. So what we need to do is we need to find or we need to count, okay, the number of trips each student made. Okay, so if I would say, can I say 3 plus 6 plus 10 plus 9 plus 4? 3 plus 6 is 9, 9 plus 10 is 19, 19 plus 9 is 28. Okay, 28 plus 4 is 32. There are 32 members. Okay, or if this is the first part of the question, they can add more. How many students or club members, how many members did the maximum number of trips? So we can see over here is that the maximum number of trips means the maximum number of markings. Agreed? So the maximum number of markings was 3. And that was, so 3 trips were done by 10 members. Okay, so we can find the minimum number, we can find the maximum number, and these values which are represented on this line plot. Okay, let's have another example. Hi Michael, hi Priyan. Okay, what we are trying to do over here is we are trying to study a line plot and we are trying to find information. Okay, let's have a look at another example and let's see what the information is provided. Okay, the question says, for question number 2, it says the Washington tourism. Let me just realign this so that we have more space. Okay. Okay. The Washington Tourism Office researched how often people played miniature golf last summer. Okay. This is the given information. Okay. And they're asking us how many people played golf more than one time. Question number 2. See, one time the golf played one time was, see, 0 time golf played was by none, right? No one played 0 time. One was played by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. 2 were played by 3. And 3 was played by 3 times golf was played by 4 people, right? So the question is asking us how many people played golf more than one time, more than one, right? That means, Michael, how many people are there who played more than one? More than one means we cannot consider one. We have to take the value they played twice or they played thrice, right? These values have to be considered. Okay. More than one means it could be 2 times or it could be 3 times. So how many people played more than one time? More than one time was played by this and this number of people. That means 3 plus 4. That means 7 people played more than once. Okay. So from the question we can find these information. Okay. They could have asked how many people played exactly 2. So we can find 3 people played exactly 2. But over here they're asking us how many people played more than 1. That means we cannot include 1, but we can include 2 and 3. Okay. Moving ahead to the next question. Do we agree on this? Any questions up till now? See, there are many types of graphs. Okay, this is the first type of the graph that we are considering to find the information. Okay, later on we'll do different types as well. Okay, just a moment please. Okay, while compiling pictures for an album, Dakota needed the number of pictures taken by each of her friends, right? So this is the given information. Okay, and they're asking us how many people took fewer than 3 pictures, right? Less than 3. Michael, which question are you answering? Frame. See, if on the x-axis it says photographs taken, 0 photographs were taken by 3 people, right? 1 photograph was taken by 4 people, 2 photographs were taken by one person. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 3 photographs were taken by 8 people. 4 were taken by 5, and 5 photographs were taken by just 2 people, right? So less than 3, fewer than 3 photographs, right? So let's see, where is 3? 3 is here. That means less than 3 means there could be 2 photographs taken, there could be 1 photograph taken, or there could be none, right? That means we need to consider all these values. All these values are less than 3. Agreed, Prem? See, it says on the horizontal axis, it says this information is showing how many photographs were taken, right? The information about the photographs. This was 0, this was 1, this was 2 pictures, 4, 3, 4, and 5, right? But they're asking us less than 3. Less than 3 means they could have taken 2 pictures, they can have taken 1 picture, or they could have taken none, right? So less than 3 would mean 3 plus 4 plus 1. 8 people took less than 3 photographs, right? Do we agree? Do we understand this? See, 2 pictures were taken by a single person. 1 picture was taken by 4 people, right? There were 3 people who did not capture a photograph, right? So less than 3 would mean we add the number of pictures that are 2, 1, and 0. That is 8 people took pictures less than 3. Do we agree on this, Prem? If there is any question, please let me know. I'll explain it again, okay? So let's move on to the next. So the next question says, the Summerfield Middle School fundraising committee found a way how many sweatshirts students have. Okay, they're looking at the number of sweatshirts. Let's see, let's copy paste. Okay, I'll just realign. Okay, this and this. Okay, so that they can sell at a fundraiser. Number of sweatshirts that could be sold at a fundraiser. This is the information that's been provided to us, and they are asking us how many students in the class have exactly 1 sweatshirt. Have exactly 1. Okay, so exactly 1 would mean this x-axis represents the number of sweatshirts. These many students had this many sweatshirts. 1 sweatshirt was owned by these many people. 2 were owned by this person, and 3 were owned by these many people. Exactly 1 would mean we count this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Agreed? So 8 students have exactly 1 sweatshirt. Okay? But if I would add another question to this, if I would say, how many students had more than 1 sweatshirt? That means more than 1 would mean they can have 2 sweatshirts, that was by 1 student, or they can have 3 sweatshirts, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7, right? Agreed? That means these students who had 2 sweatshirts or they had 3 sweatshirts had more than one, right? So we count the number of students. That means 1 plus 7. That means 8 students had more than one. Agreed? So it depends on the requirement what they're asking us. They could have asked us a particular value or they can ask us a range of values. More than one would mean the term more than one means it could be 2 or it could be 3. Exactly 1 means we just need to find the value of 1. Okay. So depending on the requirement of the question, we will do our assessment on this item. Okay. Michael, focus over here. Okay. Thank you. Thank you, Michael. Moving ahead to the next question. That would mean, let's copy the next question. It says, Anna's craft is interested in scarf knitting. Okay, they're doing scarf knitting over here. And they would be making certain number of scarves. Okay, scarves. Let's suppose these are the number of scarves they have. Okay. So the question number 5 says, Anna's Crafts is interested in offering a scarf knitting class. So the store considers how many scarves people already own, right? They want to see if they would have a class, how many people would own how many scarves, right? So 0 means everyone has a scarf, right? 0 scarves were owned by no one, right? Okay. Thank you, Prem. Let's count. Okay. I haven't counted it yet. Okay, let's see. But we are not looking at this word also. At least one scarf. They should have at least one. At least one means it could be 1, it could be 2, it could be 3, it could be 4, it could be 5, or it could be 6, right? At least it says. That means one had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 2 was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And this was 1. That means at least 1 would mean we add all these numbers together. At least 1 means 9 people had 1 scarf. 7 people had 2 scarves. It is at least 1, right? If you own 2 scarves, would you be counted inside? Okay. If you have 2 scarves, that means you have at least 1. If you have 6 scarves, that means at least 1 is already there, right? So how many people at least had at least 1 scarf? That means 9 plus 7 plus 8 plus 5 plus 6 plus 1. Let's add them. 9 plus 7 is 16. 16 plus 8 is 24. Plus 5 is 29. Plus 6 is 35. Plus 1, 36. So we can say 36 people own at least 1 scarf. Okay, if this was the first question, let's make another. How many people have less than 3 scarves? Okay, less than 3 means Okay, let's add them together. I'll just reconfirm. 9 plus 7 plus 8 plus 5 plus 6 plus 1. That is 36. Okay. Michael, it's not 31, it's 36. When we add all these numbers together, it comes out to be 36. Okay. Okay, for the next part of the question, it says how many people have less than 3 scarves? Less than 3 means they can have 2 scarves, they can have 1 scarf, or they don't have a scarf, right? These are the 3 possibilities. That means they can have 2 scarves, they can have 1 scarf, or they don't own a scarf, right? That means less than 3 means would be equals to 0 plus 9 plus 7. That means 16 people owned less than 3 scarves. Okay? There were 16 people who owned less than 3 scarves. Okay? 0, 9, and 7. There were 0 people who owned 0 scarves. That means everyone owned a scarf. Okay? It's okay, Prem. Let's focus on the second part. There were 9 people who owned 1 scarf. There were 7 people who owned 2 scarves. If the question is asking less than 3, that means 3 is not included. It could be 2 scarves, 1 scarf, or 0 scarves, right? It's okay, Michael. Let's focus. Okay, thank you. Thank you, Prem. Thank you, Michael. For the second part, it says how many people have less than 3? The 0 scarves were owned by 0 people, 1 scarf was owned by 9 people, and 2 scarves were owned by 7. So when we add them, it becomes 16. That means 16 people owned less than 3 scarves. Okay? Thank you. Let's look at another question. Usually the questions will have a single value to be found. I'm just making it a more interesting or a little more difficult so that we would have multiple things that we can find from the question. Okay. So let's move on to question number 6. And the question says, just a moment, please. If this is the question given to us for question number 6, for a study on numerical psychology, people were asked about which number between 1 and 5 they like the most and why. Okay, so the people are just trying to choose the favorite number. So what are the categories for the favorite number? Between 1 and 5, right? So 1 could be their number, 2, 3, 4, and 5, right? Okay, which number was chosen by most people? Which number was the favorite number of most people? The higher the plotting, the maximum it is, right? So which value has the highest bar? 3 has the highest bar, right? Okay, Prem and Michael, since 3 has we are talking about most times, right? So 3 was like them using was chosen the most number of times. Most times, right? Most number of times or most times, yes. Okay. If I would say which number was least chosen, 3 was chosen 10 times, right? So we don't have to say how many times it was chosen. We just need to see which number had the highest choosing, right? So it was 3. Frame, we will give the answer. See, the question is asking which number was said to be the most time. These are the numbers and these are the repetitions. This had 4 repetitions, it had 0, this had 10, this had 3, and this had 1. So that means 3 was chosen 10 times, right? So which number was least chosen? Michael, thank you, Michael. See, what you saw was 5 had 1 on it, right? But then you saw that 2 has a 0 on it. That means no one chose 2, right? No one chose, right? 2. Okay, so thank you, Michael. So that means if no one chooses a 2, that means it is the smallest number. That is, it was chosen 0 times. Okay. Okay, let's move ahead. Let's have a look at a new question. There are some students, there's a writing contest. Okay. And they're writing poems. Okay. Let's see. What can be the question? Okay. Just a moment, please. I'll realign this. Okay. Students at Hillside Middle School wrote and submitted poems for a district-wide contest. Okay. This was our question 6. This is our question number 7. Okay. Wrote and submitted poems. Okay. So this is the number of poems that they submitted: 3 poems, 4 poems, and 5 and 6, right? How many students are there altogether? We need to find the total number of students at that school. How can we find that? Frame, focus here. Okay. One poem was written by how many students? 2 students, right? 2 poems were written by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. 3 poems were written by no one. 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. 4 poems were written by 6. 5 was written by 1, and 6 were written by 3. Okay. So how many students are there altogether? See, 2 students wrote 1 poem, right? 9 students wrote 2 poems, right? 6 students wrote 4 poems, right? And so on. 1 student wrote 5 poems, right? And 3 students wrote 6 poems. Yes, that's right. Thank you, Michael, and thank you, Prem. So 2 plus 9, we write the 0 even though we are not adding a 0, right? 1 plus 3, that is 11. 11 plus 6 is 15. 16. Did I make a mistake in counting? Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 2 plus 9 is 11. Oh, 11 plus 6. Oh, sorry. I did 9 plus 6. 11 plus 6, 17. 17, 1, 18, 21. Sorry. Thank you. I did a calculation error. Okay. There's no problem. That is exactly 21. Michael and Nate. Sorry, Prem. and Michael. Okay, thank you. Nate, next question. Help me out. A food manufacturer surveys consumers about their macaroni and cheese consumption. Let's see what they're asking us. If this is the question given to us. Okay, macaroni and cheese consumption. I'll make this a little larger so that it's more visible to us. Okay, this is question number 8. And what they're asking is, eating macaroni and cheese last month. So there were some people who did not eat it, right? So how many of those people were there who did not eat cheese and macaroni? There were 4 people who did not eat cheese and macaroni last month. There was one person, or there were 3 people who ate one time. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. There were 10 people who ate twice. There were 2 people who ate thrice. And they're asking, how many people ate macaroni and cheese? Exactly 3 times. Not more than 3. Oh, yes. Thank you, Prem. We say 2 people ate exactly 3 times. Okay. Thank you, Prem. Let's try another. The next question says, a researcher asked people how many letters they had written in the past year and recorded the results, right? Rather than letters, it could be emails, right? So let's see if they're writing letters. People still do write letters. Remember that. Yeah, letters are posted. Official letters are still posted. Okay, this is what they're asking us. And this is the given information for question number 9. Which question, Michael? So it's 1, right? Which question are you talking about? Question number 9 or question number? If you're talking about question number 8, in question number 8, exactly 3 times was here, right? There were 2 people. Okay. So the next question, question number 9 says, how many people wrote more than 3 letters? More than 3 would mean it could be 3 letters or it could be 4 letters, right? Sorry, more than 3 would be 4, sorry. More than 3 is only 4. How many people wrote more than 3? More than 3 can be only 4. That means, agreed? Do we agree on this? More than 3 letters were written by 2 people. Because 4 is greater than 3, right? Let's add another question to it. How many people wrote less than 2 letters? If we are talking about less than 2, less than 2 means it could be 2 letters. No. Why? Because it says less than 2. The number that is less than 2 is 1 or 0. Agreed? So, person writing, it's okay. Let's focus on this question number 2. Can you give me the answer? The part B? Nate, help me out with this. How many people wrote less than 2 letters? Nate, less than 2 means it cannot be equal to 2, right? But less than 2 would include 1 or 0. So how many people wrote 0 letters? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. That means 9 people did not write a letter. One letter was written by one person, right? So can we say 9 plus 1, that is 10 people wrote less than, no, Nate, 1 or 0. 0 can be, 0 is also less than 2, right? Okay. So we can say that, yes, 10 people, thank you, Prem. 10 people wrote less than 2. Thank you, Prem. Thank you, Michael. 10 people wrote less than 2 letters, right? So we have to include all the numbers that are less than 2. Okay. Let's try doing some questions from the test. Thank you, Nate. Okay, I'll open up the test. Let's do it together. Just a moment, please. I need to log in. Yeah, it's there. So the first question says, Mandy is a football fan. Okay, just a moment. This is question number 1 from the test. Okay, these are the 2 options given to us. I'll just increase the size so that it's more visible to us. Okay, so this is our question number 1 from the test. It says, Mandy, a fantasy football fan, carefully studied the number of touchdowns completed by her favorite players last season. Okay, this line plot gives the touchdowns which were scored. And the question they're asking us is, how many players scored more than one touchdown? Okay, scored more than one touchdown. That means more than one would mean it could be 2. It cannot be 1, right? We are talking about more than 1. It could be 2, it could be 3, or it could be 4. So 2 touchdowns were done by 2 people, 3 touchdowns were done by 5, and 4 touchdowns were done by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That means the total would be 2 plus 5 plus 8. Agree. Yes, thank you, John. Thank you, Prem. That is B. That means 15 players did more than one touchdown. Yeah, that is 15. Let's do another question. So the next question we have is, it says, the coach of the academic bowl recorded. Just a moment. Let me copy this. So that, okay. Question number 2 from the test states that this is the given information. Just a moment. The coach. Okay, this is question number 2. Let me just resize so that the scores and information is more visible to you. And these are the two given options. Okay. It says the coach of an academic bowl recorded scores in a trivia game to determine who would represent the school at the regional competitions. These are the scores given: 5 scores, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10, right? Which score did the greatest number of people receive? What was the score scored by maximum number of people? We can say 5 was scored by 6 people. 6 was scored by no one. 7 was scored by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. By 8 students. 8 was scored by 4 students. We don't even have to count everything. What we can do is we can look at the highest tower over here, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And this would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Just by looking at the highest tower, we can say, right, a score of, yes, most people got a 10, right? Sorry, got a 10. So that means option A is the correct answer. Thank you, Prem. For the next question, it says, students at school wrote poems for a, okay, writing poems for a competition. If this is the question given to us, sorry, and this was the line graph given to us. This is our question number 3. They write and submit poems for a district-wide writing contest. These are the two options given to us. How many students are there in altogether? They're altogether. Yes, Pray. So one poem was written by 2 students, right? And 2 students wrote 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. 9 students wrote 2 poems. 0 was written by 3. No one wrote 3 poems, right? 4 was written by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. 5 poems were written by 1 student, and 6 poems were written by 3 students. So how many students are there? We simply add 2 plus 9 is 11, 11 plus 0 is 11, plus 6, 15, 15 plus 1 is 6. Sorry, 11 plus 6 is 17, 17 plus 1, 18, 18 plus 1 is 3. Yes, Prem, thank you. That is 21. Okay, let's do one more. Okay. The next question states that question number 4 gives this information, and they are asking us this. It's about the students owning stuffed animals. Okay, as part of a stuffed animal drive for the local children's hospital, the student at Fowler Elementary recorded how many stuffed animals they have collected. So how many students in the class have exactly 4 stuffed animals? Exactly 4. Exactly 4 would mean we need to find this. They're not saying less than 4. Yes. 0 people had exactly Thank you, Prem. So they are not asking us less than 4. If they would be asking less than 4, then we take 0, 1, 2, 3. If they're asking more than 4, then we take 5 only. But the term used was exactly 4. So 4 was done by 0 people, right? There were no markings. Okay, I hope we understand this. See, the questions will be like this. Okay, they would be dependent on the given information, right? Please do complete the remaining questions for your own practice. Okay, and thank you so much for being there. Have a nice day. Take care.